So how do we forgive, right? Well, by coming to those understandings is a big help, isn't it? And then we go through the things that happened, not to you, go through the things that happened, the things that they did do, right? And we're going to look for silver linings. And I can give you a multitude of examples. Let me give you one. This is outside of the book, although there's a multitude in the book. And so I sometimes became a little bit too good at forgiving, right? Because I wanted to forgive, right? And I wanted to forget because I wanted to stay with her, right? So that's an imbalance, right? That's not real forgiveness, right? That's making excuses, deflecting, and justifying, right? But when we really forgive, it changes our world, right? So this is about dealing with the anger and being able to let it go, right? So when, and I know we're at war with Iran now, kind of coincidence, but if you remember, and I can't remember the year now, it was when the Shah of Iran had to get out of Iran, and Ayatollah Khomeini took over, and they took over the American embassy. Do you remember this? And they took quite a number, I think it was about 80 people. They took hostages, right? So when this happened, obviously behind the scenes, the CIA were working hard to get the hostages back. And the Iranians knew that, right? So they're moving these people around to different, what they would call safe houses, right? And they would take these hostages there. So there's this guy, right? And they kept moving him from house to house very quickly. So they were only there for a couple of hours and they'd be gone to the next house. And so what happened was when they would take him to one of these houses and there'd be all these men there, right? These Iranians, terrorists, I guess you would say, right? And he would go there, they would beat him up. They would beat him, you filthy American, blah, 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 right? They kick the crap out of him. And then every 2 hours, he went to a different house and it would happen again. Extremely traumatic for this guy, right? So anyway, when they finally, when they finally got the hostages out and he came back to America, he created this trauma with men, right? So he couldn't handle being around men. And then what started to happen is he started to have these nightmares every night, right? And he couldn't sleep because of these nightmares. So anyway, he went to doctors to try and have them give him tablets, right? Didn't work. So one day he was talking to a friend of his. He wasn't a doctor. He was just a friend. And he goes, I can't get away from these nightmares. I can't, they won't stop. And so his friend said, well, I'm going to tell you something, that until you find a way to give meaning to what happened and use it to help others, the nightmares will never go away. Now, it hit him and he said, thought about that, but he didn't do anything about it. And a year went by and this was still happening. And he saw his friend who was sitting there and he goes, I'm still having the nightmares. I can't stop. They won't stop. And so his friend said, well, did you find a way to make what happened to you serve other people? And he goes, no. I said, well, what can you expect? So at that point, he decided that he was going to do something. And what he did, he loved horses. And so he decided to open a horse ranch that would help young boys who had had traumatic relationships, abusive relationships with their father. And he would have them come out to the ranch, look after the horses, and teach them how to heal. Guess what happened? Yeah, the nightmares went away and they never came back. So I promise you, the same thing will happen for you if and when you find meaning in what happened in your life and a way to help others.